Welcome back to another Founder Diaries, where this is a safe space for faith led entrepreneurs, God led entrepreneurs, all my business owners who are scaling, who are doing and walking in what God has called them to do. And today I just want to share all about the topic less is more and how I've been implementing that in my business and how it's been helping me and what I also plan to do. So, God really spoke to me this past week on less is more by simplifying what I'm doing to not only create more results, but also to not cause myself to be so busy in my business. And a lot of what I'm doing right now, just to name a few, is I have the Inner Circle Mastermind, which is my group coaching immersive space. I have my one-on-ones that I only do for a select amount of people. I have my product development done for you service, which is where I'm creating products for people. I'm white labeling for people. I also am doing this YouTube, my podcast, posting on social media. And when it comes to all of these things, I don't feel overwhelmed because God has really stretched my capacity. He's really expanded me throughout the past year and just layering. So when he calls me to do something new, he's not telling me to let go of what I was previously doing. It's just causing me to approach what I'm doing differently so that I can actually handle it, so that I can actually execute the vision. And what I see a lot with business owners is that God will call them to do something new, but when they do this new thing and they start executing it, they don't have the systems in place. They don't have the stewardship to still manage what they were previously doing. So then they end up letting that go. And I'm only saying this because I know that all too well. That was me in the past. And so to be in the place where I am today is just, I'm really grateful for. And I'm currently in a season where God is stretching my capacity even more, calling me to get results that I've never had. And this is causing me to have a desire for a different output, which is now pushing me and causing me to lean into the resistance and the uncomfortability of, okay, how can this be different? And I know we talked about that briefly on like 2 Founder Diaries ago. I can't even remember the title, but I just know that there are so many other people who God is speaking to about the same exact thing. Less is more. Simplifying what you're doing. A lot of the times we can be so busy that we're not seeking God as much. We can get so busy that we get dependent on our own, like dependent on what we think we should do and not seeking God as much for that direction. And, John 15 talks about you must remain in him because when we do that, we will produce much fruit. And so I'm just taking all of these things into consideration because I have been busy. I know that there are different seasons, and I do have seasons where I'm not as busy and I'm seeking God just a whole lot more. And then there are seasons where it's busy. So you, of course, discern the season that you're in, because I'm not bashing you and I'm not saying that what I'm saying is like right for you in this moment. But for me, God is showing me that yes, I am in a busy season, but in order to scale to the multi-million-dollar business that he knows that I'm going to have, I have to show up differently. I have to lead differently. And that means I have to get uncomfortable and try new things. So how I like to think about this is currently right now, we are doing the 90-day sprint that I have. So if that's something you're interested in and you want to do it, you can just click the link in the description. But inside this 90-day sprint, we are learning how to execute at a faster pace. I'm showing everyone how I do that and then how my capacity gets expanded and how I stay in aligned momentum versus accelerated misalignment. And one of my projects that I wrote for the 90 days is to have 100K cash within that time frame. And I mapped out what I have right now and what I'm expected to have by the 90 days, and that's 39K cash. And so for me, I'm thinking about, okay, there's 61,000 cash that I haven't made and I don't have the sales to bring in. So I'm thinking about, how can I bring this in without doing more? Because remember, we're talking about simplicity. Simplicity allows you to scale faster. Think about when you have this goal. So for me, I'm thinking about, okay, I'm not going to say 100K in a year because that's going to cause me to focus on all these little goals that don't even really push the vision forward, don't even push me that much closer to the goal. So I'm busying, that's not a word. I'm being more busy doing things that are less effective, that are less efficient, that don't actually move the needle forward in my business. So when I had this realization that I needed to move the timeline of that goal, so that means like collapsing time around that goal, it allows me to just move more efficiently and effectively. And so this is something that I've been doing for a really long time, but I've been taking it to another level. So I've never made 100K in 90 days. And that's why I challenged myself to do it. So what I had to realize is if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm not going to be able to make that 100K where it feels light as a feather. My values and what I stand on is that God allowed me to have this business to steward and for it to feel like freedom. He's allowed me to have this business to create wealth, to impact other people. And I can't do that if I'm burnt out and I'm ran down. And you may not resonate with the term being burnt out because I don't either. But there is a point where you can get so exhausted and so tired that what you're doing doesn't even feel exciting anymore. It doesn't feel like something that lights you up. And that's how I want you to feel. Like faith and business coexist, yes, but it's important that we take care of the whole person. And so when you simplify and you operate from less is more, that's going to allow you to build a business that feels light, to build a business that feels like freedom, to build a business that is in alignment with who God has called you to be, because you weren't born to live under pressure all the time. You weren't born to live in fear all the time. And of course, you're a business owner. There's going to be fires that come that you need to put out, but you're not doing it by yourself. And so as you're growing your business, scaling your business, keep your faith in the Lord and keep trusting in Him to direct you and give you strategy for what is next. So everything I'm doing are things that God has given me the direct instruction to do. So when it comes to the 61,000, I'm thinking about my offers that I have, what offers that I've validated that people have been buying. And that is my $33,000 done for you offer. It is my printed product to profit program, which is teaching people how to go and launch a physical product, like a planner, workbook, journal, whatever it is. And then my ambitious woman sprint, which I'm thinking about changing the name. So that's why I've been saying 90-day sprint. And then my inner circle mastermind, which is that group coaching community. So because I have all these, just validation of what's working, what people want from me, also content strategy and just how I create aesthetic content, all those things. So God is really pushing me to start ads. When it comes to ads, that's going to allow me to create more results with doing less work because it's going to be pushing content out for me. I know when people see these ads, it takes about 7 times for them to even buy. Like there are people right now on the top of my mind when I say ads that I've seen them so many times. I didn't even want it, but because I keep seeing it, I want to buy it. And again, it's not because I need it. It's because what they are posting interests me and it makes me want to find out more. And so this is a strategy that I am implementing and I'm starting next week and I'm going to test it out. And of course that means, putting together my back end funnels. Of course that means, creating all the ads and the copy and all those things, but it's going to be worth it. And I'm willing to take a step back. I really haven't posted this past week other than like one time. Still made a $5,000 sale. One of my one-on-one clients resigned, and then a $7,000 sale for a payment plan inside of the group coaching community that one of my insiders, she made that sale. So of course I'll pay her out for that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I want a business that feels like freedom, where I don't have to show my face every day, and a lot of why I do printed products is, of course, because God led me to do that, but it has opened doors because most of the people who have invested high ticket with me have first bought my journal. And so I'm, again, understanding all this and I'm thinking about all this. And so I really hope that this is helping you and just seeing my thought process from someone who never imagined to be making this kind of money, and also knowing that God has called me to so much more and just figuring it out along the way. And so, yeah, I'm going to be implementing ads and I'm really excited. I'm really hopeful that my $1 will turn into $100. And I really believe that based on the way that you build your offers and your invisible offer system, that's where the multiplication comes from, because you're not creating different offers for different people. You're creating offers for the same person who will then pay for my $22 offer, my $50 journal, and then invest $10,000 into my other programs and my other offerings because they know that I can help them solve their problem. So this is just how I'm thinking about everything. And so less is more. Yes, it's going to take some work on the front end, but when I think about if I take the time this upcoming week before I go out of town for this event and I just get my funnels in place, and when I'm saying funnels, for those who don't really understand what that means, it just means that when someone buys an offer, there's emails coming through after that push them into the next offer. When they buy the first offer, there's a thank you page with another offer. And again, these are all things we talk about inside of the Inner Circle Mastermind. So if this is something that you want to be a part of, just click the link in the description. So I'm just really excited for what this week is going to bring. My Made by the Word brand, I am in love with it so much. And I just realized that the more income that I have, the more I'm actually able to execute the ideas for this business. The more income that I have, the more I'm able to help others and give. The more income that I have, the more that I can travel and go wherever I want, whenever I want, and do the things that I know God has placed on my heart to do. And so I know we may not have those same desires, but this is just, I'm living in so many answered prayers, and I'm here to show you that it's possible. And I'm here to show you that I do know a lot and that God gives me divine strategy, but there are a lot of things that I am implementing. And that's why I really wanted to do this Founder Diaries, to just share the journey. Like, my hope for this year, I don't really have a number, but how cool would it be to make $1 million by the end of 2026, knowing that I was literally working a 9-to-5 at the beginning of last year? I'm almost at 1 year of full-time entrepreneurship. This is an absolute dream because I tried to be an entrepreneur so many times. I failed so many times. I kept quitting my job, being like, now is the time. God's moving me out of this job. And I had no idea that I didn't have the systems in place. I didn't have the habits in place. I didn't have the mindset in place. I didn't have the thought process of investing actually helps me get to where I want to go faster. And so now I am a premium buyer. I am someone who invests. And so I just pray that me sharing the behind the scenes and creating this safe space where I can tell you what I'm working on, where I can tell you, you know, if things are working out. Like, I could start these ads and absolutely fail and lose money. But at the end of the day, I will never know if I don't try. And my biggest priority is to walk in alignment with where God has called me to go, who God has called me to be. And I know that takes risk. You can ask anyone who knows me. I'm going to take that risk. I'm going to do whatever it is I need to do, because I'm not playing about what God has for me. Like, I am receiving every single promise that He has in store. And so I just encourage you, as you move forward in this upcoming week, to just trust in Him. And when He tells you to make the investment, even if it makes no sense, even if you have no money in your account and you're like, God, you're telling me to invest in this, but I don't know where my next payment is going to come from. Like, if you do a payment plan, I'm saying this because this is what I did last year, and it changed the trajectory of everything. I made an investment knowing that I had never made $15,000 at the time. I made an investment, did a payment plan. I had the first amount, and I said, God, you're telling me to do this, so I trust you, and I'm just going to do it. So I invested, I made the first payment, and because I did a payment plan, it was $18,000, not $15,000. I paid the first payment, got into the community, I made the shifts. Opportunities and blessings and income came from that one decision. And so it's just important to really be in alignment with the Lord, because He's going to give you the strategy. And let me just pull it up and read it for you before we end this. I have my Bible right here, just in case. I was like, I feel like He's going to have me read just... And John 15 is just a staple for me. John 15, I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. If He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and He prunes the branches that do bear fruit, so they will produce even more. I feel like I just skipped a sentence. Let me read that again. John 15, I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and He prunes the branches that do bear fruit, so they will produce even more. You have already been pruned and purified by the message I have given you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. This is what I stand on as a business owner, as a believer, as a kingdom woman, as a kingdom ambassador. We must remain in Him. Not because we want something from Him, but because of His love for us and our love for Him. And God has entrusted you with this business. He has entrusted you with these ideas, and it's going to require your willingness to remain in Him. There's another Bible verse that says, when you come close to me, I will come close to you. He gives us free will. And so as you're building your business, keep your focus on Him. Don't push Him to the side because you're busy. Abide. It's like, I may not wake up and read my Bible every single morning, like you see on social media, all these Christian influencers. But what I do is abide. So I may not, again, wake up, immediately read my Bible, but every day my non-negotiable is I pray out loud first. And then I will put on, the audio Bible, or in my car, I'll pray some more. And then I just make sure, when I have a second throughout the day, I'll read. Don't move and operate like this is a checklist, because that's striving and that's doing something out of habit and not out of your desire to really seek Him. So I love you so much. Thank you for being here. I really pray that this blessed you, and I will see you next time.